What's up? Once again, you're tuned in to the Mind of Opex. Hope you guys are enjoying the fluffy beard. No, I am. So, it leads me to what I want to talk about. Hair. If you guys haven't noticed, I got some pretty long hair. It goes down past the middle of my back. It's getting pretty long. I've been growing it out for a long time. I have no idea how long. But I want to tell you why I'm doing it.
Continue on US 69.
There's a lot of aspects to this, but of course it's going to be a short video because it's not an endless aspect, endless thoughts on it. It's just what it is. So think of it like this. I believe that we have come away from our natural selves. We have evolved, we have adapted, we have been brainwashed to get out of our natural selves. And if you haven't noticed, in the military, they shave your head. You think they do it for no reason? There's a big reason why I grow out my hair. So let's dive into a lot of the aspects. When men lose their hair, they lose a part of themselves. When they start going bald, when they start getting older and they get bald and they can't grow out their hair and they look funny and weird, then they just shave it off and go bald. They'll clean shave and the whole nine. I look at it as a form of corporate slavery. If you're a corporate slave, you have a nice clean cut, and you look like, basically like, you're gonna play ball. Me, I'm more of the rebel type. I don't just play ball. So, let's start with the military. Military shaves your head. And there is a reason. It's not just random. Like, why the fuck do they shave your head? It's to conform you. It's to understand you are powerless. You are told what to do. You are fed. It's a transformation. They cut off your hair and make you go bald. So you conform and you don't have say into what, you don't rebel against authority. That's generally why they shave your head. You lose a lot of your powers, your individuality, you lose a lot. You turn into a copy-paste programmed thing. I've been growing out my hair for, 3 years? Maybe in a few months or something, I don't know. And there was a time when I grew out my hair before that, when I started achieving enlightenment. And the reason why I started to grow out my hair originally before this time, which I didn't make it that far, I made it like 8 or 9 months. Got to that awkward moppy stage, like mop head kind of stage, and I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this, and I stopped. I think it was to get a job at the time. But the reason I started growing out my hair was because it felt natural. It felt right. It felt more manly to me. It didn't feel like a corporate slave robot, which is the confusion nowadays that people actually think by trimming your hair and becoming that robotic state gets you to feel manly. That robotic state is not manliness. It is neither feminine or masculine. It is just that. It is a robotic state that you have thought to believe that that's the manly state of mind, of being. But it isn't. It is to conform you. The military does it basically to conform you. Now, some women shave their head. Some of them trim it. They'll have long hair their whole life, trim it, and say, oh my God, this feels so good. It's so free. Give it a couple days. Tell me how emotional that woman gets. How much of a wreck she becomes. A lot of people don't see it, but I see it. So happy when they had long hair. Of course they had bad days, but they weren't as emotional. What's the word? Not as a part of their natural state. When you shaved your head as a woman, or you trimmed it to a really short, boyish looking level, basically you lose a part of yourself. You lose your chakras. You lose what you were. You're not going to get back to that fullness until you start growing it out again. After a few months, it'll get better, and keep progressively get better until you're in your natural state again. And a lot of people don't see this. You know, this is a level of frequency and empathy that you have to see and feel with your own, and see the auras change and the whole nine. Whenever I see, like, I worked at Home Depot, and there was this girl with long hair. She's probably 30 or 35 years old, young girl. And she didn't shave it. She trimmed it to a boyish, you know, that new style, like have it really, really short on the sides and have it a little long on top, and then, you know, style it or whatever. And she had her hair that was pink. She dyed it pink, and short pink hair, and put it to the side. The second I saw her, I was like, oh my God, it's going to happen. I know it. She's going to freak in a few days, and she's going to realize it's a bad mistake. Of course, she goes around Home Depot. Hey, how's it going? And all the girls are like, oh, I love the hair. Oh my God, it suits you. You know, like all that shit, which is all lying to each other. But, of course, a few days go by. She starts not acting like herself. And this is not just one example of like a few. This is one example of every example. Once that hair gets short, trust me, you're going to see something, an imbalance happen in their chakras, in their energy. They're not going to be themselves. So when they shave for the military, for men, women don't have to shave, but a lot of them do. But when the men shave, it's sort of the same thing. They lose a part of their rebellious nature, their natural state, which loses their chakra. It loses the frequency field around them that was much more powerful and much more vibrant. And the reason I'm talking about this is because, again, nobody sees this shit with their own eyes or their own empathy. If you are an empath, then feel it. Feel the change, see the aura change, see these things. Long hair, that extra hair is actually essential for men and women. Not just women, but men as well. There's outside feelers that feel the universe and has an extra sense. Just because you blow on your arm hair and you feel the arm hair move and such isn't just what it does. It actually feels other forms of frequency. Other than it feels sound, it feels a lot of things. It's an extra feeler. It's like why catfish have whiskers or cats have whiskers. It's the extra feelers. Of course, hair keeps you warmer. There's a lot of aspects to hair that's very positive. So before haircuts, men grew out their hair. Of course, some of them would style it. Some of them wouldn't do anything, like I'm not doing anything now. It's just normal. It's natural. And they were more in tune with their natural self. It was all up until history that there were people that like their natural state. It was up until now where it's treated as, well, you're not going to get a good job if you look more manly. You're not going to get a job. We're going to hire the guy who cans in a tanning booth, cuts his hair short, actually waxes his whole body. We're going for that guy. And they do. They want all your hair removed. It's not like a huge conspiracy, all right? This isn't a huge conspiracy. Even the elitists trim their hair. So it's not a huge conspiracy, like they're not doing it, but you're doing it. In fact, there's almost nobody on this planet, in terms of tribes or anything like that, that don't cut their hair. The Jamaicans, obviously 50, 60 years ago, the Jamaicans were huge into long hair. It was normal, and they had extra senses from it. They have an extra power that most people couldn't see or understand or even believe. Native Americans, they didn't trim their hair. They had long hair that, even as men, they didn't trim their hair. The Native Americans, before the white man came here, even after the white man came here, they still knew that it helped a lot. So there was I believe it was the CIA that conducted a study among Native Americans around the time of World War II. Or was it World War I? It was one of those. It was during a World War time. And the CIA conducted the study of getting Native Americans to track for them. And they were able to track very well. They can, track very easily. So they trimmed their hair. They gave them a buzz cut. They buzzed their hair or gave them a wet shave or something along those lines where they cut off all the hair. Head hair. Then they sent the Native Americans to go out and, track for them. Sure enough, they couldn't. They didn't understand why they couldn't. Obviously, they knew it had something to do with the hair, but they didn't really fathom why. The CIA didn't have a conclusion other than the hair definitely had something to do with their tracking skills. It allowed them to have a second or a separate ability from the five senses matrix that we've turned into. An extra ability that can branch out and feel the universe and understand it a little more. Of course, your head hair is around your brain. It's almost like connectors into the universe a little easier. Don't quote me on any of this shit. This is just all out of my mind. Quote me on the CIA study, though, because that's a real study. You hear stories of Samson in the Bible. Never cut his hair once in his life. Had that girl, I think her name might have been like Delilah. I'm just throwing that out there. He had a girlfriend. His girlfriend got him to cut his hair. Cut his hair, Samson lost all his powers. There's a lot to do with your hair that conforms you into it's like the three-dimensional five senses matrix. And because you're conformed to this matrix, it seems normal to cut your hair. Everyone else is doing it, and it makes you look good as a corporate slave. Wearing a nice uniform with, short cut hair, paying the barber or whatever to cut your hair nice and good, and you get a good job. That's about all it's good for. Now, there's a lot of girls that like trimmed and short hair, but it goes out of your natural masculinity. When men cut their hair short, they tend to lose their temper a little easier. When they have much longer hair, they tend to be more laid back. Now, you can say that all day that it's just something to do with, laziness. Like, you're lazy. You just don't want to cut your hair. And that same laziness is the same thing that goes towards your ease. Like, you're at ease. And when you're at ease and relaxing more, you tend to be a lot happier. So I have noticed a big difference when I grew out my hair as opposed to when I didn't have my hair long. I feel more manly. This goes with the beard as well. I feel more manly with hair. To cut my hair, I don't feel as manly. I feel like I'm losing a power, a sense, a power, something. And yeah, I'm being a little vague on that. But altogether, there's a reason why they want your hair cut short. It's to conform you. I'm going to go into a little part 2 to this because this is a really